From the shocking moment a powerful storm blows a roof off a building, to a rickety bridge in China shaking violently in the wind, and a farmer driving straight into a hay tornado, here are 5 incredible storm moments that were caught on camera. Timișoara is the cultural and economic center of Western Romania. Known as Little Vienna or the City of Flowers, the city sports many historical monuments, parks, spas, resorts, and colleges. They have a booming tech sector and are a hotspot for medical tourists or people who travel abroad for treatment. But in September of 2017, Timișoara played host to a violent windstorm that tore through the countryside. While driving the kids to their grandparents' house, a mother and father got trapped on a 2-lane road as the storm moved through. 60-mile-per-hour winds whipped across their car, and debris brought visibility down to nothing. While they were relatively safe inside their vehicle, you never know what could be flying in the wind.
Wow, just that. Wow, I didn't know.
The couple drives into the mouth of the storm, and the car they're trailing gets lost in the dust. Tiny particles crash and scrape against their car, but our Romanian couple surprisingly keeps their cool. The husband slows down as they lose the car ahead of them, only able to see its taillights through the dust. The conditions make it impossible to drive, so the car comes to a standstill and waits out the storm. All they can do now is hope that some idiot doesn't crash right into them. Thankfully, the family was safe in their car. Elsewhere in Romania, the storm claimed 8 lives and injured 67 others. It tore the roofs off of houses and toppled every tree in sight. The storm moved through Romania and traveled northeast into Ukraine. According to the mayor of Timișoara, the weather report that day only called for some light rain. They were grossly unprepared. Guizhou province is a landlocked region in southwestern China and is home to about 38.5 million people, making it only the 18th most populated place in the country. After the Chinese Civil War, the CCP hid in Guizhou between 1934 and 1935, a period known as the Long March. Once they established the People's Republic of China, Mao suggested they move all heavy industry into Guizhou to protect it from foreign attacks. In May of 2021, a powerful storm moved through the area, bringing hurricane-force winds. A vulnerable suspension bridge over the Wu River got caught in the storm and whipped around like jello. A driver attempting to cross the bridge saw that it was a bad idea, so they decided to record instead. It looks like a loose Hot Wheels track or a piece of spaghetti stretched across the river. There is a 0% chance anybody was making it across that bridge alive, so all our driver could do was sit and wait. We get another shot from an apartment above the bridge, and we can hear how loud it is from outside the car. The storm finally clears, and we get a good look at the damage. The railings collapsed, and pieces of the floor blew away. Even after they fixed it, we bet that bridge still looked sketchy to cross. There are bridges like these all over the mountainous areas of Guizhou province. In fact, Guizhou is home to the world's highest bridge, the Beipanjiang Bridge, which sits only 1,850 feet above the river below. Meanwhile, this rickety bridge over the Wu River is only 500 feet high. No big deal, right? Chita, Russia is a small city on the Trans-Siberian Railway system. It's about 10 hours north of the Mongolian border and acts as the administrative seat of Zabaikalsky Krai, the overarching Russian state. The city tried to break away from the motherland in 1905 during the Russian Revolution, but the government roped them back in a year later. In May of 2020, Chita was hit with a powerful windstorm that sent 67-mile-per-hour winds ripping across the city. The storm tore several roofs clean off their buildings, knocked down power lines, trees, and walls, and damaged several cars. One supermarket had to call some professional roofers once the storm calmed down. Now, the wind doesn't look that bad from our cameraman's vantage point, but you better believe some powerful winds are blowing across the screen. As if he knew it was bound to happen, our cameraman focuses on the supermarket right before the wind gets underneath the roof. In one fell swoop, the entire roof rips off like a band-aid. It flips and lands on the road behind the store. Thankfully, nobody was driving by. Nobody suffered any severe injuries in the storm. One guy got hit with some debris, but walked away with a few bumps and bruises. Another man walked outside to find a jagged piece of roof through the windshield of his car. Another person's car was flattened after debris landed on it. You should keep an eye on the sky during your next Siberian adventure. You never know when a roof will be flying overhead. About 16,000 people live in Long Beach, Mississippi, a fairly new city on the Gulf Coast, incorporated in 1905. It began as an agricultural town specializing in radishes, but welcomed more tourism as people flocked to the beaches of the Gulf of Mexico. Sadly, Hurricane Katrina tore through Long Beach a few days after its 100th birthday, destroying everything within 1,600 feet of the shore. In April of 2018, a car full of friends was driving near the marina when a waterspout formed in the Gulf. It eventually moved onto the land, passing right in front of their car. While this little tornado wasn't strong enough to do any real damage, it probably triggered some Katrina-related memories.
Oh, just ripped the roof off!
Oh, wow.
I don't think we're gonna go through it.
No, definitely don't want to go through that. Oh my gosh.
We're like feet from this thing. Oh, look at the tint. No, we're good, we're good, we're good. See, it's not even knocking over trees, it's just alright.
Oh my god.
Wow, look at all the
vortices.
The birds are actually caught in it.
They are, aren't they?
I think so.
Oh my.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh,
oh my gosh. Look at those people in it.
What?
Those people are in there.
Oh, it's real weak. It's not even knocking over signs, but that's so cool.
We almost got it. We got a water spout for a tornado.
Yep.
Careful for the...
The video opens with the waterspout ripping the roof off of one of the boats in the harbor. It's hard to track over the water, but the vortices become clear as day once it makes landfall. As our passenger points out, the wind isn't strong enough to knock over trees or signs, meaning they're perfectly safe inside their car. The same can't be said for a flock of birds caught in the wind. One sailor was still on his boat when the waterspout flipped it on its side, and rescue crews spent half an hour getting him to safety. While nobody wants to see their boats destroyed, the damage could have been much worse. Redhill is a small town in Surrey County, England, about an hour's drive south of London. It's one of those small English towns rich with history and culture. But in July of 2018, Redhill became known for something nobody knew existed. While tending his farm on the city limits, Tom Nicholson came across a spinning cyclone of hay out in the field, rightfully dubbed a haynado. It didn't look too scary, so Tom decided to get closer, driving his tractor up to the storm and getting an up-close and personal look.
Jesus, that's scary now.
M14 northbound carriageway junction 4 has reopened, but there's still a lane closed, so you've still got big queues if you're heading up through, and then surrounding routes are still a struggle, so if you're using the A40 as an alternative, just do that. It's a kind of case of choosing the queue, but it is now.
That's mental.
M25.
Jesus.
Thinking Monster, now this is a serious thing here. This is an item Jeremy's doing tomorrow. I just had Phil, my friend Phil in, who produces Jeremy. He said, could you just crank this out for us? Of course. Tomorrow on the Jeremy Vine Show, Jeremy's going to be asking, do you... I'm not going to do it in his voice. No. Do you love football? But you've realised you're
Oh my God.
on Saturday. Well, the Jeremy Vine Show is going to...
That is insane.
...on tomorrow. We will be offering advice...
Whoa. Bloody hell. I'm gonna get in it. Shit. Oh my God. That's another 50, 60 foot high oak tree. For reference.
Tom spotted the haynado while sticking barley straw in the adjacent field. He knew he needed a closer look, so he hopped on his tractor and drove towards the phenomenon. He can't help but laugh as he gets near, knowing there is nothing he can do about the bundles of hay it's destroying. He eventually hops down from the cab to see how strong this haynado really is. Tom runs right through it like a child diving into a pile of leaves. The storm eventually moves on, and we get a good sense of how tall it is compared to a 50-foot tree. Tom likely rushed into a mini tornado or a dust devil, which are usually harmless. Still, they can be strong enough to pick up rocks and whip them around. While the wind won't pick you up and carry you away, a rock to the side of the head could leave you with some serious damage. People called Tom crazy for charging into the storm, but he brushed them off. To be honest, it looks like he was having a ton of fun. Trat Province in Thailand is the easternmost region along the Gulf. It is among the wettest places in the country, receiving more than 177 inches of rain every year. All that rain leaves hillside houses more susceptible to landslides. On August 7th of 2022, a group of Buddhist monks learned that lesson the hard way. A tropical storm battered the coastline for several hours, causing the soil beneath their home to weaken. Eventually, the foundation gave way and the house collapsed. All it takes is a few more pieces of mud to fall before everything comes crashing down. Debris slides down the hill and lands in a cloud of dust. The glass shatters and the roof flattens, leaving passers-by to watch and wonder what happened. Thankfully, the rest of the house stays intact atop the hill. Nobody was in the house at the time, but a local Buddhist temple was using it as temporary summer housing for their monks. The house was only 27 years old, and most of the monks' personal belongings were lost in the collapse. This happened right in the middle of Thailand's monsoon season. This hillside home wasn't the first to collapse because of the rain, and it probably won't be the last. To see another video just like this one, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and be sure to tune in next time.